Let's talk about brotherly love.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Imagine how amazing it would be to have a brother round about your own age that also rollerbladed. Just think of the possibilities. You would always have someone to skate with. Bonus, you would also have twice the amount of skate supplies in the house. So if you lost a bolt or cored a wheel, you could just go into your brother's room and yoink, bumped. That's mine. You would also have double the video collection. Oh wait, it's not the 90s anymore. No one actually has videos. Never mind. First up are one of the most famous pair of brothers in rollerblading, the Feinbergs. Everyone knows about Aaron Feinberg. He won the X Games at 16 years old and went on to be sponsored by Salomon, have a pro skate with them, have numerous pro skates with USD, get sponsored by Mind Game and have just absolutely legendary sections in things like Brain Fear Gone, Words, Bang, Accidental Machines. But Ruben Feinberg was round for quite a lot of it and actually has quite an impressive back catalogue of his own. So he had quite a lot of clips in Hoax 4. He also had a clip in one of the later Mind Game videos, which you can see here. And he had a section in a Pat Lennon video. Even though he's living in the shadows of Aaron Feinberg, who's one of the greatest skaters of all time, if someone comes up to him in a skate park or someone who skates, asks him about what he's done, he can be like, yeah, I was in one of the Hoax videos, I was in a Mind Game video, and I had a section in a Pat Lennon video. If you tell that to someone, they're going to think you are the shit. Next up, we have a pair of brothers that I didn't actually realise were brothers until a few years ago, Josh Petty and Bryan Jaggers. Josh mentions Bryan in his VG6 section for Toys Beneath Our Feet. He mentions him saying that he skates with his brother Bryan, but I just didn't piece it together.
I like to skate with my brother Bryan, Wild Man.
Although, looking back, I don't really understand how I missed it because the pair of them had a joint section together in Brian Smith's video, Unsuitable Material. Josh obviously went on to become a massive star in blading. He was sponsored by Rosie's and Senate. He later went on to USD and had a bunch of skates with them. He started his own companies, Second Regime, Rain, Josh Petty Footwear and Project Blow. But Bryan Jaggers actually had a significant impact on blading as well. He had a bunch of photos in Daily Bread and he was in a lot of videos over the years. He was in the Medium Team video, Film of the Year. He was also in Elements 2. He had a section in One Nation. He also had a bunch of clips in various episodes of Video Groove, and he had some clips in the Daily Bread video Transcend. He was sponsored by K2 and Medium and later Jethro, and he had one of the nicest true topsoils in the game. It's a bit of a shame to find out what happened to him in later life. There was a rumour going around online that he was homeless, and according to Josh Petty on his episode of Jumpstreet, he's not been doing so well recently and he suffers from schizophrenia. So hope he's doing better, and yeah, wish him all the best. Next up are another pair of California brothers, Ian and Colin McLeod. Everyone knows Ian McLeod. He was sponsored by Deshi and had a pro skate with them. He was sponsored by Razors, had a pro skate with them. He was renowned for basically being able to do every trick, switching natural and doing some truly massive stunts. But his brother Colin was pretty handy on a pair of skates as well. Colin actually had a section in Carl Sturgis's video, Demo Day. In fact, he had the Ender section, and it turns out he's also got really good handrail skills. Colin also has a lot of natural and switch tricks in his arsenal, as you can see from this alley-oop topsoul line. Next up is two of my favourite skaters in this list, Keith and Adam Brearley. You might remember the Brearley brothers because they were sponsored by Vicious and they had quite a few clips in the Vicious team video, Sleaze, but the best footage you're going to see out there from either of those guys is in the second Strange Creatures video, Voodoo Show. Keith had a brilliant section that led into the Friends montage, and Adam Brearley had a phenomenal part in it. Now, that video had some heavy hitters in it. It had Matt Luda in it, it had Alex Brosco in it, and Adam Brearley held his own against all those guys. He had some absolutely amazing tricks in there, like this one. Neither of them have released a section since that video came out, and that was quite a few years ago now. In fact, I'm willing to bet it was over a decade ago. But both of them recently popped up in a Vans campaign as models, and Jeff Stockwell took the photo. Next up is New Jersey's Taylor and James Coburn. Taylor Coburn has been around for ages. He had a section in Sean Grossman's Caprice. Although in recent years he's become more known for filming. He's released 2 full-length videos, Hit It Wet and Hit It Wet Again. He also contributed footage to the Them Skates and Brain Dead video, Future Shred Technology. You can see him here, waving at the top of the hill. He's also been doing a lot of work for Rollerblade, and he's working on the promo for Sean Keen's Pro Skate, which should be out later this year. His brother James had a section in the first Hit It Wet video, which, if you haven't seen yet, I strongly recommend you check out. He also had the Ender section in Ian Walker's recent video, Crazy Pills. Again, another good watch. On top of that, earlier this year, he got picked up for the Mesmer Am team, and I know that both Taylor and James have been out in California filming, so something tells me we're going to see more from them this year, both from Rollerblade and from Mesmer. Next up, we have Marius and Fabien Gaile. Most people know Marius as the young guy on the Them Skates team. He has had a bunch of footage out recently and it's all been incredible. If you haven't seen his Big Mar section, I strongly recommend you check it out. He also had the Ender clips in the recent Them video Glow Zone, and he's been picked up by Dead Wheels, which is a pretty exclusive team to be on. On top of that, there's the small matter of him having his own pro skate. Marius has also made his own videos. He's made Adiamus and Second Gear, and his brother Fabian featured in both those videos. On top of that, Fabian is also in the new Muzzle video, Adventures of Mr. Moose Muzzle, and he basically stands out for having a very distinctive style, which is quite different from his brothers. He combines a lot of wizard skating into his tricks and just finds a really interesting way to do combos that a lot of people don't think of. Playing these two at a game of skate would be absolutely fucking infuriating. You'd go up and just do a standard alley-oop top acid on the ledge, and then both of them would match it because they're so much better than you. And then Marius would go up and do like a shuffle to 360 Makio to fake you out, and I'd be like, I'm going to have to take a letter on that one. Then Fabian's going to come along and combine a grind with some wizard moves, doing like an alley-oop solo to some like reverse cross-leg pivot 360 out. And you're just going to look at him and go, I do not understand what the hell that trick even was. How am I meant to replicate it? I'm never playing either of those guys at skate. Next, we have a brother duo who are being productive in front of and behind the camera. Nils Jansons and his brother Martins. Rosies have been pretty much throwing pro skates at Nils Jansons ever since he got on the team, and Martins Jansons has been responsible for all of the promos. Remember the Storm promo that had 66,000 views? Martins made that. Remember the Breeze promo that had 386,000 views? Martins also made that. On top of being exceptional behind the lens, Martins is also a bit of a nutter on rollerblades. Just like his brother, Martins loves nothing more than a terrifying, steep, nasty drop rail. I guess lunacy must run in that family. With all the promos that Martins is making for Rosies, he must be head to toe in Rosies merch. Result. Another equally productive brother duo is Eugen Enin and his brother Daniel. Eugen Enin has had a phenomenal amount of output over the years, and in the past decade has probably got more NBDs than any other skater, and Daniel was there to capture all of them. Although, weirdly enough, Eugen Enin has won Skater of the Year multiple times and won Section of the Year multiple times, but Daniel has never won Videographer of the Year, ever. It's kind of weird that the skating would be considered good enough to be Section of the Year, but the filming wouldn't be good enough to be considered Filmer of the Year? Maybe the blading community's just hating on him because he's a skateboarder. Come on guys, I thought we were past all that. Next up, we have, without question, the most successful brothers on this list, Eito and Takeshi Yasutoko. These two brothers dominated the vert discipline for the better part of 2 decades. Takeshi was the youngest ever pro vert skater. He turned pro at 9 years old. What the hell were you doing at 9? Because I wasn't doing an awful lot. He's also won 16 gold medals, and he's been responsible for the frontside 1080 McTwist and the double Viking flip. His brother Eito has won 5 gold medals and 6 silver medals, and he was responsible for the 1080 California roll, the twister, and the double backflip 180. These two guys are widely considered to be two of the best extreme sports athletes in any discipline of all time. Last but by no means least are the exceptional Kelso brothers, Sean and Colin Kelso. Those guys have been rollerblading since before they had pubes, and it shows because they are two of the best to ever strap on a pair of skates. Both of them have had legendary sections throughout the years. They've had pro skates, pro wheels, pro frames. Their influence on blading continues to be strong. They're still releasing videos, still putting out content, and their brand Basement is incredibly popular within blading. The brothers also have more than their fair share of NBDs, like this one right here.
What are you guys' favorite one or two never been done tricks that you guys first did that you're really proud of?
See, I'd rather name your stuff than mine.
All right, so we'll do that then.
All right, do that.
We'll do
All
that.
right, you go.
Do that.
In spin, mock, hurricane, switch, fish brain, 360 out.
On the playground. Yeah.
That
oh my
was
God.
fucked up.
Yeah.
That was messed up.
Probably, since we already talked about it, the 900 stay fakey.
Yeah,
that
that one is
will
good.
probably never be done ever again
that
down
was-
the stair set.
And that's my roundup of some of the most well-known brotherly duos in blading. There are loads that I missed out. There are Ben Schwab and his brother. There's Eric and Mike Burke that you might remember from the early Video Groove videos. There's also Adam Bender, the guy that used to like to get naked on his skates, and his brother Luke. There's also Kai and Anders Carlson Wee. One of those brothers was responsible for taking wheels out of his skates and doing a railroad grind. Funnily enough, that didn't really catch on. There are so many brotherly combos in blading. In fact, I could probably do an entire other video. Shout out to my Patreons for supporting this channel. If you would like to see a part 2 of this video, let me know in the comments.